You are looking live at Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where tonight the Grand Rapids Rise are hoping they can continue what's been a magical run down the stretch in 2026. Winners of their last 5 consecutive matches, the Rise have needed everything to go their way, and they've needed some help. And yet here we sit at the home finale of 2026, and right now the Rise are still mathematically alive for a shot at their second trip to the postseason. They need a win tonight. It's the Grand Rapids Rise and the Orlando Valkyries here from Beer City on Samsung TV Plus. Hi everybody, Dan Hasty, that's Katie Olson and KO. There's still the slimmest of chances for Grand Rapids, and considering the start, what more could you ask?
Agreed. To go on a 5-game win streak, I don't think anyone saw this coming from the Rise halfway through the season, and here we are looking at that last spot still available for playoffs. Can they do it?
Grand Rapids has been on some roll over the course of the last 5 weeks or so, having really put themselves into a wonderful spot, having gone 5-0 in their last 5 matches, the most recent of which was a 5-set win over the Atlanta Vibe. That was an interesting win for a number of reasons, Katie, but one of the most interesting parts of that was that it almost felt like the Rise were looking at a mirror image of themselves. They had to find a way to beat a team that rivaled a lot of the things that they do stylistically. That was a good win.
The defense was incredible. Both teams were flying all over the court. Just when you thought the Rise had the kill, you saw the Vibe come through with a dig, and then they were able to execute on that. We did talk at the half, like, what are they going to do? How can they move on from that? Playing such a defensive, scrappy game, and then you saw the 5th set. The 5th set, the Rise came out hot, and they did not look back.
All right, now at risk of having Katie essentially as that Charlie Day meme where all the different lines and arrows are pointing in 18 different directions, break down what the postseason situation looks like as it stands for the Rise.
The Rise have to win. They're in a must-win situation. They have to win tonight versus the Valkyries, and then they have their last game versus the Mojo in San Diego. They need to win that, and guess who's fighting for that 4th spot along with them? The San Diego Mojo. They have 3 games left, so they are going to also need to lose a couple of those games to put the Rise ahead of them. So you know, the Rise can only control what they can control, and they need to win their next 2 games to put themselves in a good spot.
Quick look at the head coaches. You saw Kathy George for Grand Rapids, Amy Pauley on the other side for Orlando. Orlando, of course, coming off winning the MLV championship last season, and a big reason for that is one of the best players in all of Major League Volleyball, Brittany Abercrombie, who's back and fully healthy after a bit of an injury layoff earlier this season.
Standing at a 6'3" opposite hitter that is left-handed. She takes up space and is able to hit around those cut shots. You know, I'm excited to watch her play tonight and see if the Rise can shut her down, because she is so strong for them on that opposite.
They are here, they are fired up, and they are ready. The Rise and the Valkyries If Grand Rapids is going to keep its postseason chances alive, they've got to go through the defending champs. Cam Turner heads back towards the service line. If you're listening along on the radio side, the Rise will attack from left to right. They're in their red-orange uniforms tonight, while Orlando sporting the road whites. Boy, this place feels loud tonight. They certainly know what's at stake for the Grand Rapids Rise. Cam Turner's ready for volleyball. We hope you are. Serve is up. Orlando's got a chance on the other side. It's kept alive by a diving Morgan Hentz. Get used to hearing that line today. Another swing, and it's handled off the Abercrombie try. Inna nearly put one down. Look at Orlando trying to go out of the middle, and they do. A point goes to Colby Neal. As we look at the starters for Orlando, Hannah Bucas, Courtney Schwann, Brittany Abercrombie, Colby Neal, Bree Kelly, Donna Rowland-Schad as well. Going to be a very busy day here in Major League Volleyball, and of course all eyes will be on this matchup today as Abercrombie can't land that. Turner looking for Snyder. And into the net goes Orlando. I think Abercrombie may have gotten inside.
Yep, she just got a little too close there.
There's a look at how close it was. Kathy George, she has authored really an incredible run over the course of the last couple of weeks to keep these chances possible early this year, as this one goes up and down thanks to some help out of the middle. Alyssa Jensen, Elizabeth Enna, 2-1 Grand Rapids. But this was an up and down season. You know, early in the year, Kathy George had to make a very difficult decision to make the trade that she did for Morgan Hentz. And I think it's pretty obvious that they have been so much better for that as they look to Abercrombie, who pounds it down, and we're tied at 2. But she really did come in and change the dynamic, along with a few other moves as well.
They became so much more defensively oriented when Hentz took in that starting role.
Yeah, that became a true strength for them as Abercrombie's serve is too strong. Alyssa Jensen gets the turn of the line for Grand Rapids, a former Michigan State Spartan. Played a long time under Kathy George as well, as that serve goes too strong. Alyssa Jensen was kind of the centerpiece of some of those Spartans teams during her years in East Lansing. Courtney Schwann with the serve. Grand Rapids looking for Inna. She's got a rocket right arm. And the Rise are back in front.
You know, I was interested to see how Inna would come to the game tonight. She had a rough match, her last match versus the Vibe. They found a way to shut her down, and tonight looks like she's coming in pretty strong.
What's interesting about Inna is that it's been kind of matchup based throughout the course of the season, but over the last 5 matches, save for the last one she had when it didn't go exactly according to her plan, they wouldn't be on this 5-match winning streak without what Elizabeth Inna has been able to provide for them. That's a big reason why they've gotten just that. Tough play here, and the free ball has to come back. Other side, look at Morgan Hentz saving the cross-court kill. How about Paige Briggs? Roll on, they take advantage. PBR with her first point of the night.
And you watch that all start with the dig from Morgan Hentz and the perfect out-of-system ball by Cam Turner that leads PBR just inside Bree Kelly.
Still hard to believe sometimes that this Grand Rapids Rise team has Morgan Hentz on it, the 2-time MLV Libero of the Year. As Hannah Bucas has to go out for it, and Abercrombie is able to slam it down. As Paige Briggs-Romine blew a tire, makes it 5-4. But to your point, I mean, they were a decent defensive team, maybe even a good defensive team, but once Morgan Hentz showed up, I think they went to that whole nother level, and that's really what's propelled them this season. They certainly needed all hands on deck. We've seen the strides from Elizabeth Inna, And Cam Turner obviously has been one of the biggest reasons why Grand Rapids has taken off.
Talk about a defensive setter. She's been setting records on the defensive end for the Grand Rapids Rise this season. So you put her and Hens back there, that's a lot of ground. You throw in PBR in the middle back area. I mean, that's a lot of ground that they are covering. Looks like we have a little issue with the floor right now.
Well, and going back to your point, I would imagine that if Cam Turner is back here for Grand Rapids and starts the season as the team setter, look to keep an eye on her as a potential all-star selection. That's the level she has played at. You don't accidentally win 5 matches in a row. And you certainly have to have good setting from the middle. Turner hands it off to Inna, and somehow Orlando's able to recover. This one nearly blocked, and it'll come right back. They're trying to get a shot. And instead, Ramad Al-Hassan can't get it down. Let's see if they try her again. And Cam Turner also very defensive. This time she gets involved with a block. Al-Hassan and Turner. And it's not just limited when it comes to the defense from the Jensens and the Al-Hassans of the world. There are so many, like the one at the service line, Paige Briggs-Romine. But just about every single one of these players can get involved defensively. And in a lot of ways, that's sort of a Kathy George hallmark. Briggs-Romine couldn't get it. Fight at the net. Somehow it comes over. I don't know how they kept it going, but that's one too many. Point Grand Rapids, make it 7-4. You know, going back to Orlando, they're actually in a pretty similar space to what Atlanta was when they were here a couple of days ago, the last match that Grand Rapids played. It was a 5-set win, as Shaw had that one dug out by Morgan Hentz. But this is an Orlando team as this one goes down from the middle. Hannah Pukis ends up making it 7-5. But just like Atlanta, Orlando has lost each of their last 3 sets without winning a single set. 3-0 in all 3 of those matches as part of their 4-match losing skid. So the middle, Al-Hassan had it sent right back. They'll recalibrate. Try the other side. And that's a point for Elizabeth Inna. Nearly got the block down inbounds. That brings us to a timeout. We'll take a 30-second break as well. 8-5, Grand Rapids out in front right here on Rise Radio and on Samsung TV Plus.
All righty, Van Andel Arena. I'm over here in section 1. Marge's Donut Gang. For all of your sweet treat and donut needs.
Well, Grand Rapids is off to a pretty good start. 8-5, they've got the lead over the Orlando Valkyries. So right now, what Grand Rapids has been able to do, I think more than anything, Katie Olson, is just get their team involved.
They have Cam Turner's doing a wonderful job of distributing different sets and really keeping the Valkyries on their toes.
Welcome back, 8-5, Grand Rapids with the lead over Orlando. Dan Hasty, Katie Olson, Shelby Petrangeli is back in our studios in downtown Grand Rapids. Great to have you all along for the final home match of the regular season with Grand Rapids Rise Volleyball. They've got the defending champs in town, and so far Grand Rapids is watching Orlando hit to just a 12% average, while Grand Rapids sits at 29%. But you know, one of the things that really surprised us about what we saw against Atlanta, the Vibe actually had more digs, and we haven't seen a lot of teams do that against Grand Rapids, especially in this run. That's what made that win so unique, was the fact that they were able to win in an entirely different game script. Good pancake there by Paige Briggs-Romine. We'll try and tee it up for Snyder. Also, we see a couple of changes as well as Teodora Pusic, talented libero. She's getting very busy. A shot. Had that dug out by Snyder. Right back to Orlando on the offensive. But right now they're running into a brick wall. Is it still alive? Yes, Snyder and Turner. Here's Shad. There's another dig. Can they finally take advantage of it? Pusic. Not there, and Al-Hassan Long rally building here in Grand Rapids. The Rise have a 3-point lead, and finally, Brittany Abercrombie puts this one to bed. I'll leave it to one of the best players in all of Major League Volleyball.
Wow, that was a defensive effort on both sides, just really keeping that ball alive, and shot from the outside for the Valkyries, just annihilating that ball.
Yeah, it just sort of felt like Grand Rapids was on their heels during that entire rally, and now that point gets made back as Donna Schad goes into the net. But you look at the teams, and one of the things that we do know about Orlando is that they're an offensive-based team. If things are going well for Orlando, they're certainly getting it done on the offensive side. That's why it sort of plays in an interesting way into what Grand Rapids can do. It's because they have that huge defensive presence. Rise sit in second place in MLV in digs per set, third in blocks. So you can understand just how frustrating that can be. This time it's Orlando getting the block. Colby Neal, and it's 9-7 Grand Rapids. But the hitting percentage is a little bit lower than you would expect for a team that's coming off winning a title. They're sitting at 7th, just barely hitting over 20% this year. Grand Rapids is the next team above them at about 21. But the defensive side has been the difference here as Schwan tried to put it down but couldn't get underneath, or at least in this case, over top. 3-point lead for the Rise. Last meeting between these two was on March 1st, and the Rise snapped the skid. You see Carly Snyder with that rocket shot as comes from the middle, and Bree Kelly puts it through. But it was the Rise taking down Orlando 3-1. The 3 meetings this season have been decided in straight set lengths. Here's a look for Turner and Inna. A little bit of traffic on that side as they'll try to get Swan going. Swan can't put it down. Paige Briggs-Romine will get a chance as well. And you really see Grand Rapids showing off that defensive prowess here. See if they can get a little offensive here with Inna. That one nearly reached the video board. Fight at the net. Still alive. Snyder from distance. Another chance to recalibrate. Boy, these are going to be some hard-fought points tonight. We're going to see some great rallies. This time, it's put down by Schad. Make it 10-9 Grand Rapids. But for Orlando, another loss would eliminate them from making the postseason. So they're still playing with their season depending on the outcome. Nearly an ace there on the Abercrombie shot. Another chance for Orlando. Can they get 3 points in a row? Not this time. Elizabeth Inna makes it 11-9 Grand Rapids. That's kind of going back to what we were talking about. It doesn't mean that one person will get everything done in one specific category. It's not like there's one person to get the digs, there's another to get the blocks. They really are a very collaborative effort for Kathy George and company. Ramat Al-Hassan can't get it. Over the head, Bree Kelly, the no-look dump. 11-10, that was pretty.
That was great court vision by Kelly coming down as a middle. Looks like we're gonna have a challenge on that play. Looks like Grand Rapids is challenging a net touch.
You just heard the voice of Zach McCright. Devaney McClarty is our second referee. Henry Chen, Jeff Turmolen helping us out on the scoring side tonight. But you know there's a lot of pride on that Orlando side. So even if their postseason chances are even slimmer than Grand Rapids, you have somebody like Brittany Abercrombie, there are a lot of similarities between who we saw last with the Atlanta Vibe and somebody like Leah Edmond, and now here tonight with Orlando and Abercrombie, who, by the way, played some of her best volleyball here earlier this season. She was exceptional the last time Orlando was here. They picked up a win.
She could not be stopped when she was here the last time, and you're seeing over half of the sets go to her. Orlando Valkyries are a very pin-heavy team, which causes the Rise middles have to run back and forth. Looks like the challenge is unsuccessful. There was not a net touch on that ball. Bree Kelly did a great job of being able to stay out of the net on that.
You know, we just saw the replay, and it sure did look like there was a little contact made with the net, and that's what Grand Rapids is contending, but they have ruled the challenge to be unsuccessful, perhaps not clear and conclusive evidence. Inna tries to pound it through, and it misses the line. Another point for Orlando. We're even at 11. She didn't get the top of the net. I think they were contending she got the sort of the middle of that net. Turner for Briggs Romine, and instead, this time Grand Rapids gets a little too close. Orlando gets back in front. Well, we were talking about Bree Kelly. She came off the bench against the Indy Ignite, and she was outstanding. Had 5 kills during that game, hit over 71% from the middle. Certainly a big spark plug for them as this one goes far side. Another point for Orlando, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-point lead for the Valkyries. They're starting to get comfortable. But in that loss at Indy, Adana Shad was really good. Hit over 27%, so they had some things to build on. Al Hassan builds on that chance right out of the middle. That's one thing we've noticed as this season has gone on. We didn't see a lot of Ramat Al Hassan in the middle of the season, but now that she's back, kind of getting that chemistry back with Cam Turner, her setter. Abercrombie can't get that one to go. And it's down for Orlando instead. 14-12, Valkyries. Well, one of the things that I think we both remember about the last time these two teams played was that the whole place knew that Brittany Abercrombie was going to get the ball. She was going to get the chance to take the swings. This fight goes back to Orlando, but even then, Abercrombie was able to land it. This time, the Rise defense comes up big. Al Hassan and Turner again. Always feels like one of the true tests is if everybody knows it's going to be you to swing and everyone's ready for it, and if they still can't stop it, being able to still get that down is really impressive. Somehow, Inna just paws it over and it falls in. We're tied at 14. Sometimes you can go back and just wail away on the ball and have it dug out. Sometimes you can just kind of pat it across. And how about another block? Snyder and Al Hassan. Now that defense starting to perk up once again. It's one of the things about the defense that the Rise have played as this one goes into the net. You know, it feels like offense can come and go, but it feels like defense is a little more stable when it comes to kind of how it shows up on a game-by-game basis. If it had been this good all season long, the Rise would easily have a postseason spot. Turner for Inna. This one goes down. Inna got it blocked. Looked like shot and maybe some help out of the middle from Colby Neal. 16-15, Orlando up 1. Quick timeout right here on Rise Radio and Samsung TV Plus. 1-point lead for Orlando. Thanks for tuning in. Live in Grand Rapids, where the Grand Rapids Rise have vaulted themselves back in the postseason contention. And they need a little bit more where that came from, as this one just barely goes out of bounds on a chance from Hannah Pukas. And we're even at 16. We'll have Al Hassan, and then we'll get Katie's thoughts so far on what she's seen here in set number 1. Out of the middle, nearly a block, because it has certainly had some ebbs and flows, but that defense for Grand Rapids has certainly kept them in thus far. Snyder swings and scores, and the Rise are back in front. KO so far, what's it look like to you?
I mean, no big shock here. It is a defensive battle. Offensively, both teams are not hitting super well or efficient, but that is because you're seeing so many digs on both sides. So the key to tonight's game is being able to win those long rallies, because we're gonna have a lot.
So far, 45 combined digs here in just set number 1. 23 for the Rise, 22 on the other side. Abercrombie swings and gets one in the corner pocket. But both of these teams are hitting 11% right now, just to give you an idea of how defensively oriented this is. So if you're on the Grand Rapids side, you can't help but think that that matchup against the Atlanta Vibe certainly paying off right now, because there are some similarities there, as Cam Turner tried to put it into the corner and couldn't do it. One of the rare misses for Cam Turner, as you see Amy Pauley, the Orlando coach. It's Orlando team that picked up the championship back in 2025. I don't know how Cam Turner didn't get into the net that time. Grand Rapids will have a chance to tie it up here. Turner, Jensen. What a play by Schad. Trying to survey the landscape, and somehow it's kept alive. Tried the double pop, and Alyssa Jensen able to put it down. But Orlando in their first season, 8-16, and then turned it around to make themselves league champions just 1 year later. If nothing else, it's a good story to help remind every team in Major League Volleyball that things can change so much from year to year. Right at the net, and somehow Orlando is able to get control of it. Abercrombie didn't have a whole lot on that, but it's out of the reach of Turner. But they went from 8-16 to 18-10. So far this year, it's a little different.
And now we got who other than Natalie Foster, one of their best servers, back on the line.
We were talking about her on the radio pregame today, and she is absolutely lethal, and they run her right off the line. How about Cam Turner getting it done? That's a big win for Grand Rapids.
Perfect pass by Paige Briggs-Romine. The pace of that serve was insane, and then to put it perfectly for Cam Turner to see that the middle of the floor is open.
That'll get Foster back onto the bench. Foster, #1 in MLV in aces. Twice as much as the next closest server in all the league, as this one nearly got blocked. They'll pat it once and twice. Instead, Abercrombie swings and scores. Well, Orlando already had this recipe. We saw this the last time they were here. Right now, they just continue to feed #6.
And looks like we are going to have a serving and setting sub come in to give them more offense in the front row.
Champu Goodpard, first time we've seen her in this contest. Certainly one of the most well-known faces and names in all of Major League Volleyball. Had an outstanding performance the last time that Orlando was here as part of their victory here in Grand Rapids. Gives them a different look, and it leads to a block. Orlando taking a 2-point lead in crunch time. The first set has not been exceptionally kind to the Grand Rapids Rise the last handful of matches, but it hasn't seemed to really hurt them. Like the last one, for example, against Atlanta. They lost the first set, then came back and won sets 2 and 3. That was part of their 5-set win over the Vibe. Kept alive, it goes down thanks to Paige Briggs-Roma, and Rise needed that point. They were gonna find a way through set 1. Overall in the first set this year, Grand Rapids is 12 and 14. It's also the only set that they had exactly the same amount of numbers as points for as points against. As this one goes down from Schad. Well, they're giving her an expanded opportunity. Check that, that's actually Zoe Weatherington. First time that we've said her name today. The former Penn State Nittany Lion. It's funny about those Penn State names. They keep popping up all over Major League Volleyball. Al Hassan able to get that one through. Grand Rapids still hanging tough. But in the victories over Indy, both of those here in Grand Rapids, and also the Vibe, Grand Rapids did drop set number 1. So it hasn't been an end-all be-all for Kathy George's team. They'll look for Schad on this side. Good play by Snyder. You have to find a way to give room, and there's a block out of the middle. Bree Kelly. And now it's a big point at stake. We'll see if Orlando can find a way to put this one to set point. You need that one out of the middle. Hassan could not put it down. Other side. Swing and score. Weatherington. And for an Orlando team that has not won a set in any of their past 3 matches, this is going to go a long way for Amy Pauly's team. Timeout. Grand Rapids wants to talk about it. They need 3 straight points in order to push this one into extras here in the first set. Well, clearly some things have changed on the Orlando side.
They have. This is a little bit different team than the Rise saw at the last time that they met on March 1st. They added Schad and Weatherington, and those two are now out there playing. They were used to playing against Kaz Brown, and now they have Colby Neal and Bree Kelly in the middle, and those are both rookies. They're doing a fantastic job tonight out of the middle. So Amy Pauly has really mixed up her lineup, and it's a little challenging on the scouting report for the Rise because some players you've never even seen before.
Certainly made a lot of moves in that area. We're talking about Zoe Weatherington. 3 years of pro experience. She played in Puerto Rico and Greece, South Korea as well. Played a little bit for the Utah Utes at the college level before a couple of years in Happy Valley at the end. A chance to win it. Morgan Hens keeping it alive. Turner for PBR. Didn't get much behind it. A chance to take the set. And they do. The Orlando Valkyries, for the first time in 3 matches, have taken a set. Well, they never said it was going to be easy tonight. 1-0 Orlando with the lead. Second set is next here on Rise Radio and Samsung TV Plus.
An entire season, all building to this.
Point, championship point.
All or nothing stakes on the biggest stage, and there can only be one
For it all. Orlando wins the championship. The $1 million matches.
It's the biggest moment in Major League Volleyball, and there's only one chance to witness it live. The Major League Volleyball semifinals and championship at Comerica Center, May 7th and 9th. Tickets available now.
Every match is a new opportunity. For us, this is everything. The hours no one sees, the pressure, the belief it takes to keep going. Every serve carries expectation. Every rally demands heart. Every win brings us one step closer to becoming champions. This is Major League Volleyball, where the sport's top stars compete for greatness. This is our game, our league. Keep watching.
Hey Orlando, it's game time. Your women's pro volleyball champions, the Orlando Valkyries, are back and ready to win. Enjoy the night out and feel the excitement of big plays, incredible athletes, and non-stop action. Every rally brings the crowd to its feet. Every point is a moment to cheer together. This is world-class volleyball, live at Edition Financial Arena. Don't just watch the game, be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at OrlandoValkyries.com.
And it's time once again for Grand Rapids Rise Volleyball.
I'll give the Orlando Valkyries a lot of credit. Things have been going a bit sideways for the defending champs over the last couple of matches, having lost 3 straight matches by 3-0 scores. They come here to Grand Rapids, and Katie Olson almost seems like they're playing angry.
They definitely are. Brittany Abercrombie is at least. She is leading their team in kills. She has 8, and she's getting the majority of the sets. They're setting her almost half of the balls.
And that was their recipe to win this match the last time these two teams played here. So no surprise that they're going right back to Abercrombie. What I think that is really validating for Orlando is the fact that Abercrombie, who we've seen actually come out of a couple of matches over the last couple of weeks, really is getting back to her true form. Well, much like a number of the matches that we have seen here in Grand Rapids over the last couple of weeks, the Rise going to be forced to climb out of a 1-0 deficit. Set 2 is underway. Cam Turner tries to dump to the middle, and somehow it's kept alive. Good work there by Orlando. That's really where this match might boil down to. We know Grand Rapids is strong defensively as Abercrombie plants one through. We know Grand Rapids is defensively strong, but can Orlando match that defensive versatility and fight fire with fire? They certainly did that in the first set.
They actually led in digs the first set. They are now at 32, and the Rise are at 27. Those long rallies are going to keep happening, and who is leading that? Shad in the back row.
Not a lot of blocks per set for Orlando on the season. They're 7th in Major League Volleyball. As into the net goes Cam Turner. It's another point for Orlando. But just 7th in Major League Volleyball, while Grand Rapids comes in sitting at top 3 in MLV. Nearly an ace. They were lucky to keep that one going. Meanwhile, Snyder catches a high hand and gets the first point for Grand Rapids. I got to give some credit to Zach McCright, our first referee, who not only signaled the point, but also signaled the fact that it hit the high hand, even did the signal. It's easier when they can tell you exactly how the point was scored. Pukas for Abercrombie. And they continue to feed Abercrombie here. What a play. One arm stab there by Morgan Hentz. There's a swing, and it's too strong from Carly Snyder. See Elizabeth Inna, who has been one of the catalysts for this comeback here late season. Grand Rapids started this year really struggling, and now before the serve, what do we have? Looks like Orlando, they are in rotation. We know that much. Amy Pauley will talk things over with Zach McCright. There's Kathy George.
Looks like they're all trying to figure out what just happened on that.
I think they might have had the scoreboard incorrect. I think they had 2-2 on the board, and they had to readjust that to 3-1 Orlando. So they've got the lead. And perhaps that was what caused that brief slowdown. Turner, Jensen, not there. And Abercrombie just went down. She seems to be okay. Just kind of ran into one of her teammates. Inna will try to put one down, and it goes a little bit too hot. Out of bounds, and the first 4 of 5 points in set 2 goes to Orlando.
The Rise are going to need an offensive answer here.
It felt like nobody really had their offense going, but now Alyssa Jensen tries to change that. There was a long time where both of these teams were hitting about 11%. And the Valkyries have actually upped that total, while Grand Rapids has seen that number go down. Maybe they go back to the middle a little bit more, see if they can get something from that side. And try the other side with Inna. Almost feels like they are just in the spot where Orlando is going to put it. This one goes too strong from Abercrombie. There's 2 in a row from Grand Rapids. But I really like their positioning. What Orlando's done, it feels like they're always where Grand Rapids is trying to attack. Dukas for Abercrombie again. Puts it down. I think that's what makes Abercrombie so special, is that not only does she have that heavy hand, but she also has great court vision and awareness.
The Rise are going to need to find a way to slow her down. She now has 9 kills.
Perhaps keep it away from her, as Al Hassan couldn't get the swing she wanted. But a block will take care of that. Al Hassan helping out.
I would like to see Cam Turner really get Paige Briggs, Romine, and Carly Snyder in system and in a good spot right now. Those 2 normally lead the Rise in kills, and they only have 2 apiece.
Good serve by Inna. It was a little tough to handle, and that one goes off a high hand. It's a point for Orlando. It was in the second set that we saw Grand Rapids make its biggest and best adjustments against the Atlanta Vibe the last time the Rise were here. Ended up reeling off 2 straight set wins. This time, Paige Briggs Romine plants one down. There's a point for the Rise, makes it 6-5. But it looks like it's going to take some more of those in-match adjustments for Kathy George and company if they want to find a way to keep their postseason hopes afloat. They need a win today, and then they need a little bit more help beyond that. Inna couldn't get it back to her side. Abercrombie will attack from some distance. Now it's Inna. That one's down, and we're tied at 6. Well, you were talking about needing to find a source of offense, and it sort of feels like Elizabeth Inna could certainly be that after what she probably would have called a down match the last time she was out there in the win over Atlanta.
She's definitely due to go on a hot streak. I think if they keep the ball just slightly higher so she can get her max reach.
She was so big over those 4 matches leading up to that. Almost kind of see them hit the change up there just so Grand Rapids can try to tap it back. This time they hit it back a little bit harder, and Al Hassan and Turner are able to take that point. That's 3 in a row for Grand Rapids.
Al Hassan does such a great job of pressing over and reaching into that hitter's strong hand.
Al Hassan missed a ton of time over the course of the season. He was actually dealing with an Achilles injury. And we've only seen her back for the last 4 matches. I don't think it surprises anybody here that all 4 matches have been wins. It's really the first time all season. So Orlando shoots that one too strong, and it goes out. That's 5 in a row for Grand Rapids. We'll keep it right here, 8-6, Grand Rapids on top.
Fans, tonight's season ticket
But, you know, Kathy George had said to us on multiple occasions, you know, she had a chance to really see her team all together. And it's just now at the very end of this season that she feels like she finally has at least what she expected to be the nucleus of her team.
Felt like the Rise were constantly dealing with different injuries from all different players. If it wasn't one, it was someone else. And just battling through that is really challenging. They had 2 season-ending injuries, and then they were able to, make a couple shifts, grab a couple players, but she waited until a little bit later to make those additions. So really not knowing what she was looking for all season, dealing with those injuries.
One of those big additions was bringing in Danielle Harbin, who we didn't really get a chance to see a whole lot from, but Harbin, the opposite, the 9-year pro, former Arkansas Razorback, came in real crunch time during their win against Atlanta on Wednesday, and Harbin was excellent.
She was, and we talked to Kathy George about it at the end of the match, and she said she needed someone out there with some experience, and 9 years professionally, Harbin had that.
You look at kind of the common threads for this team. You've got Morgan Henson, her 3rd year in MLV. Of course, there's a lot of years beyond Major League Volleyball for so many of these athletes. This one gets down in the middle from Hannah Pukas, so a point for Orlando out of the timeout. But there's a lot of pro experience on this side for Grand Rapids. You've got Inna, who's technically an 11-year pro, formerly of Romania. But also 9 for Harbin. Jenna Rosenthal recently signed. She's got 8 years. She was actually working alongside Major League Volleyball as a player advocate before Kathy George convinced her to come out of retirement. As Elizabeth Inna is able to pound that one through. Look how close it was. Might have also caught a hand. Either way, it's a 2-point Grand Rapids lead. But now Elizabeth Inna starting to get comfortable. She's hitting 17%, which doesn't sound like exactly what you'd want. That one goes out of bounds. It's another point for the Rise. Doesn't sound like exactly what you want, but right now that's actually tops among Rise attackers. Let's see if they try a slide play. Instead, they'll go the other way. Grand Rapids trying to take advantage of some momentum, and they do. Rise have their largest lead. It's Inna once more. And see that smile from Inna? That's one of the things that we've noticed about this Grand Rapids team. They're having a lot more fun. Now, granted, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why they're having more fun. They've won those 5 matches in a row. As Turner tries to get it inside the corner, can't get it down, but I think they're having fun, but they're also playing with confidence, which is something they were looking for earlier this year. 11-8, Grand Rapids up in set number 2. Turner for Inna. Didn't get a whole lot behind it. Orlando has a 1-0 lead. This time they put it down thanks to a swing from Hannah Maddox. First time we've said her name today. Like Amy Pauley really going through her rotation. Almost everybody getting a chance here in these first 2 sets. It was Maddox who had a really good match the last time these 2 teams were here, as Pukas' serve goes too strong. Make it a 3-point Rise lead.
Maddox has also been working through an injury. She just got off of that injury and able to play again recently.
And good to see her back. We'll try Abercrombie. Good job by Inna. Trying to clear room so Paige Briggs-Romine can operate. Easy to get a traffic jam out there. This time, Orlando runs into the blockade. Jensen and Inna, the Rise go up by 4. That's the 7th block for Grand Rapids. So 4 on the Valkyries side. You can see they couldn't get quite what they wanted out of that set. This time, Inna unable to get it down. And everything comes down to setting unless you run into a brick wall like that. Jensen and Snyder initially looked like they had the block, but they called Grand Rapids for being in the net instead. Also went with out of bounds on that one. That one goes as another Orlando point. So it's a 2-point Rise lead. Rise got comfortable and had themselves a nice little lead. They also had one in the first set before Orlando was able to rally. Hannah Maddox. As you can see, just by how much the floor crew is getting involved, just how hard both of these sides are working early on. Good play by Turner, reflex play. And Snyder puts it to the corner. Boy, that's all started by that great self-defense play by Cam Turner. Now it's Carly Snyder at the line. We're talking about some of the great servers in Major League Volleyball. Carly Snyder certainly belongs in that conversation. Gotta imagine it's only a matter of time before we see Orlando try and trot out its ace from the service line and Natalie Foster. 2-point lead for the Rise. Anna with leverage. What a play by Maddox to keep it going. Still nursing that injury. You can see she got up a little slow that time. Snyder tries to put one down. Another dig. Colby Neal this time. Grand Rapids hoping a third time's the charm. No. Still somehow Pukas. I think Grand Rapids might have been better off letting that one go. But Hentz ends up going with the dig. Other chance. Now it's Snyder again. Turning into one of those big rallies again. Only Neal keeping that one going when she might not have had to. Turner for Anna, swings, and it's blocked. What a job by the Valkyries. Well, we always talk about those long rallies deciding matches, and so far Orlando's been getting it done in those big moments.
The quality of the touches that Orlando is getting are excellent. They're able to really contribute to the following swings.
Can they recover? And perhaps right there you see some of the fatigue from the last point as Snyder's not able to get that one down. Couldn't quite get on top of it. And despite having a 4-point lead just a moment ago, now we're even at 14. That one's just a hair too strong. And in a situation where Grand Rapids is seeing Orlando seize the momentum, that one goes the way of the Rise. Alyssa Jensen's turn to serve. Out of the middle, it's blocked. That's Al Hassan. A couple of quick points for Grand Rapids. They'll take the 2-point lead into the timeout. Grand Rapids needs set number 2. Otherwise, they'll be in a whole lot of trouble on Rise Radio and Samsung TV Plus. A resident Stranger Things expert, and right now I think they're using AI versions of dancing characters from Stranger Things. Do I have that right, KO?
Yes, they are. I mean, it's kind of fun.
Tell me about this show. What do we need to know about Stranger Things? We get back into it. What a fun night it's been so far, and it's been a lot of fun on the Orlando side. Orlando's found a way with a couple of big points. They took the first set, but Grand Rapids now trying to get back on a run of its own.
Saw Kathy George talking to Cam Turner during that timeout, telling her that she needs to find a way to get those pins involved in the offense.
A little bit of a mix-up between Schwann and Maddox comes back to Grand Rapids. Can they find 4 in a row? They can. Ramon Al Hassan. just like that, 2 points out of the timeout. Amy Polly wants to talk about it. We've noticed that Grand Rapids hasn't had as much success on the pins today, and now all of a sudden they're really feeding the middle.
They've been out of system a lot today, which makes it really challenging to set your middles, and then it puts more pressure on the pins since the blockers are ready for that option. Being in system and having Cam Turner really push those middles, and then look at where the defense is on the other side. Get your pins in a better spot to be successful is what she's gonna have to do. You saw a lot at the beginning. There were back row, front row, mixing combination plays, and that's kind of slowed down, and that's what Kathy George was talking to her about. We need to get back into a rhythm.
Just realized that Carly Snyder, who's the reigning Major League Volleyball Player of the Week, is hitting exactly triple zeros right now. I'm curious to know what you've noticed about what they've done to take her out of this contest so far. Clearly, they're making her a priority.
Getting the Rise out of system is what the Valkyries are doing so well, making it a lot harder for Snyder and Briggs-Romine to put away those balls. Now we're seeing another double sub come again on the Valkyrie side.
It's Champu once again. The 17-year pro from Thailand. Inna trying to run her off the line. What a play by Maddox. Boy, they are really getting and covering a ton of area of the floor. We'll see if Inna can do it again. Maddox has been hanging back in that corner really nicely, and it leads to an Orlando point. 2 straight for the Valks.
Weatherington does a great job of swinging hard and high, so she's getting those hands and then pushing the ball really far.
And good to see Champu getting another opportunity. She has been so important as this one gets blocked by Orlando, and much like we saw in the first set, Orlando making a late set run. Rise were just up by 4. Now Orlando has a chance to erase that deficit entirely. Instead, Al Hassan has other ideas. Blast it down, 19-17 Grand Rapids with a 1-0 Valkyries lead. Turner for Paige Briggs-Romine. Well, they've done a nice job getting to these open opportunities and showing their size has Orlando. That one's too strong, and it goes as a point to Grand Rapids.
They were just a little out of rhythm on that ball. Maddox, I don't think she was completely ready, and then the set was a little low for her, and she wasn't able to get on top of that ball.
Goes back to Elizabeth Inna. It's a couple of big points for Grand Rapids right out of that. Now it comes back. Here's a chance to take advantage with Carly Snyder, and they do. But they really would benefit from being able to get her going, and Amy Pauly wants to use her last time out. So they will talk about it, give themselves a break. But you know, it's kind of amazing to think that right now Grand Rapids is up by 4 in a second set in which Carly Snyder has really yet to get things rolling offensively.
She's struggling in the front row, and I believe getting her rolling in the back row, just like that last play, will change up her offense. So then it'll also ease up Paige Briggs-Romine on the pin in the front row.
It's funny you say that, because we see when Carly Snyder is having one of those off matches or off games, sometimes they do start to really go after giving her opportunities to attack from distance. And that seems to be something that gets her out of those struggles and maybe perhaps into a rhythm. But it's one of the benefits of having someone like Snyder. You can have success at the pin, you can also have success from distance. There's a lot of versatility to this Rise squad. Orlando with a big point they need, and they shoot it too strong. Shot. Couldn't get it across court. The Rise have their largest lead here in set 2. Right on cue, they play the song 22. You know who sings it as Inna goes into the net. 4-point lead for Grand Rapids. Now if you're on the Rise side, you can just simply trade points and make it to the finish line. Grand Rapids has lost a lot of first sets, even in their late season surge. Inna, Weatherington's able to handle that. Maddox swings and scores. Another point for the Valks. Also, one player we're not seeing here a lot in this second set, Brittany Abercrombie, is on the bench. Meanwhile, Paige Briggs-Romine has that one dug out. Here's shot, got it blocked. Al Hassan once again. What a second set for the former Florida Gator. You surprised to see Abercrombie not in right now?
They did that double sub, so they're looking for more offense in the front row. Brittany Abercrombie is back row right now, so you are seeing Champu Guinevere in for her.
So perhaps just more temporary than anything. But rare is the occasion where you see one of the best players in Major League Volleyball off the floor. Snyder swings and scores. After losing set number 1, the Rise have a chance to get the 1-1 split after 2. It's set point. Briggs-Romine to serve. They're looking for Shad, who attacks and connects. Check that, Weatherington this time. So Weatherington able to get that one down. Boy, what an imposing front line on this Orlando side. Bree Kelly's turn. Grand Rapids looking for a set 2 win, and they've got it. Elizabeth Inna catches a high hand, and the Rise catch set number 2. We are all even. We plan on speaking with Ramat Al Hassan in just a moment. Grand Rapids finds themselves with a 25-20 set 2 victory. And a big reason for that KO was Al Hassan, especially once they started feeding her in the middle.
She has a great presence at the net, and then her ability to run those gap swings, which really puts the blocker in a space where they're not in front of her, and putting those balls away, it's great to see.
Now, that's one of the things that Grand Rapids has been able to do so well over the course of the last handful of matches is get things going from the middle, and having Ramat Al Hassan is a very, very big reason why. This is Ramat Al Hassan. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
All right, so that first set, not exactly what you guys wanted, but you had to make some adjustments. Sort of feels like that's been a theme for you guys the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, adjustments is what has been just making this so much easier. Communication, trusting our teammates to do their jobs, and we're just grinding out all cylinders right now.
It probably calms you down a little bit when you know that some of these matches you've won have started out this way. So obviously you made some changes in that second. You were a big part of it. Felt like they were going to the middle a little bit more. What else did you guys do better in that second set?
Yeah, I think it was just staying disciplined, right? It's the small things for us, and that's always what it's going to be. And so once we make the choice of, okay, we're going to stay disciplined, take care of those things that we talk about, it comes easy.
It's so much fun to watch a defense where everybody can get active in that collaborative effort. You see players like Cam Turner teaming up with you to go get a block. You're getting digs from everybody. I mean, I'd imagine it's probably so frustrating to play against you guys, but you have to love being that kind of team.
Absolutely. I mean, just the grittiness. It's like, okay, that shot didn't work. What can I try next? And so we're just constantly making each other better, which is the whole point of what we're doing.
So trying to swing into a brick wall. Ramat, what do you guys have to keep doing to go finish this one out?
I think it's keep making adjustments. Orlando's a good team. They're going to come out. They're going to change a couple things, and then we have to answer back.
Yeah, they've thrown a lot of different looks at you guys so far, but you guys have been able to handle that. Ramat, thank you very much. Go get them the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Ramat Al Hassan. These two teams have now taken one set apiece. Now we'll get to see if Grand Rapids can get out in front in set 3. That's sort of been their MO the last couple of matches. We'll take a timeout. It is intermission here in Grand Rapids, right here on Rise Radio and Samsung.
An entire season, all building to this.
Point, championship point.
All or nothing stakes on the biggest stage, and there can only be one
Before it all. Orlando wins the championship. The $1 million match.
It's the biggest moment in Major League Volleyball, and there's only one chance to witness it live. The Major League Volleyball semifinals and championship at Comerica Center, May 7th and 9th. Tickets available now.
Hey Orlando, it's game time. Your women's pro volleyball champions, the Orlando Valkyries, are back and ready to win. Enjoy the night out and feel the excitement of big plays, incredible athletes, and non-stop action. Every rally brings the crowd to its feet. Every point is a moment to cheer together. This is world-class volleyball, live at Addition Financial Arena. Don't just watch the game, be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at orlandovalkyries.com.
Grand Rapids rise in volleyball.
This is major. Women's volleyball isn't the next thing, it's the real thing. This is where the game gets real.
From your favorite.
Time now for another 2-minute timeout. Welcome back, volleyball fans. Carly Snyder is one of the premier outside hitters in all of Major League Volleyball, and she joins us now. Carly, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, an all-star appearance last year, another year here in Grand Rapids. You're a Michigan native. This has to be very fulfilling.
Yeah, this is the dream. I mean, I didn't know that this was a possibility when I was a kid. I grew up in actually our practice facility. I played tournaments there when I was like 12 through 15, so it really does feel full circle. My family comes to lots of games. I have friends in the area, and I've known Kathy for a very long time, so this is really special. It means a lot to me.
It sort of feels like all you guys have some sort of study abroad program, as all these volleyball travels took you away from the States for a long time. Where did you go?
I was in France for 6 years. I loved France. I really value my experience there, but when this league started and I knew there was a team in Michigan, I was really excited because I think it was time for me to come home, and I was so grateful to be able to do that.
And you have been able to do that. You've been able to build an identity here in Grand Rapids, to do it in your home state, part of Major League Volleyball. What has it meant to have something like Major League Volleyball available to you?
Yeah, it means the world, and I love seeing little girls at the games. I love seeing older volleyball players who said, oh, I used to play at Michigan, I used to play at Michigan State. This was never a possibility for them, and we're so grateful for the women who paved the way for us, and grateful for all the people who support volleyball just because it made it possible to do this in the U.S., and we're just hoping for the next generation to have something even better.
You mentioned Michigan State. That was where Kathy George was for so many years before she ended up coming to the Grand Rapids Rise. What's it like playing for Coach Kathy?
Oh, she's wonderful. I love playing for a strong woman. I mean, my mom is a head tennis coach, a college coach, so it just means a lot to me to, it's really hard to be able to do that job for that long. As a female, we see how many men are in the coaching game, so it feels great to play under Kathy. It feels amazing to be a part of what she's done for so many years, and we're just really proud to play for her.
Carly, great stuff. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And don't forget, you can catch every Grand Rapids Rise contest on Samsung TV Plus.
An entire season, all building to this.
Point, championship point.
All or nothing stakes on the biggest stage, and there can only be one
Before it all. Orlando wins the championship. The $1 million match.
It's the biggest moment in Major League Volleyball, and there's only one chance to witness it live. The Major League Volleyball semifinals and championship at Comerica Center, May 7th and 9th. Tickets available now.
Hey Orlando, it's game time. Your women's pro volleyball champions, the Orlando Valkyries, are back and ready to win. Enjoy the night out and feel the excitement of big plays, incredible athletes, and non-stop action. Every rally brings the crowd to its feet. Every point is a moment to cheer together. This is world-class volleyball, live at Edition Financial Arena. Don't just watch the game, be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at OrlandoValkyries.com.
This is major. Women's volleyball isn't the next thing, it's the real thing.
This is where the game gets real.
Well, we knew it was going to be entertaining. Grand Rapids and Orlando. If the Grand Rapids Rise are to find a way into the postseason, they've got to take down the defending champs. Getting ready for set number 3. She's Katie Olson, Dan Hasty with you. And KO, it's all about adjustments. We were talking to Ramat Al-Hassan, and one of the things that we've noticed over the course of this hot streak for Grand Rapids, they've been making a lot of good ones.
They have. The first set, you saw Abercrombie come out on fire. She was almost hitting 500%, had 8 kills. In that second set, she only had 3 total. The Rise found a way to slow her down, which then they came out with that set win.
So 1-1, all tied up. This is kind of how things started on Wednesday for Grand Rapids. Where Grand Rapids ended up seeing the Atlanta Vibe take the first set before they reeled off 2 in a row. And Katie, we were actually talking about this too, and it might not have a huge impact in the grand scheme of things, but for the Rise, there's actually a little incentive to win in 3 sets as opposed to 5 if they are to win this match tonight.
You get extra points if you win with a score of 3-0 or 3-1. So they still have a chance to do that.
Every point counts in this playoff pursuit. Carly Snyder, first serve into the net to start set number 3. Brittany Abercrombie's back on the floor. Schwann joins her, as does Pukas. And what's going on here? Whoa. There was a miscommunication. Somebody wasn't subbed in, and as the serve came up, they couldn't get him in time.
Yes, so you didn't see Bree Kelly enter into the court, and she needed to be on the court because Kobe Neal was serving.
So both teams with some mistakes for the first points here in set 3. We're seeing a lot more Hannah Maddox here ever since the second set. This one is down for Brittany Abercrombie. Well, the Rise were able to make their big adjustments in that second set. But one of the things that Orlando's doing, maybe more so than we saw from the Atlanta Vibe on Wednesday, Orlando showing its depth. They've been really getting after it in terms of showing different looks. And I think that's also prevented Grand Rapids from really getting in its rhythm. Snyder swings and scores. Check that. That's Paige Briggs-Romine this time. Now it's Elizabeth Enna to serve. Nice little slide play. Bree Kelly making up for that last play. This is the final home match of the regular season for the Grand Rapids Rise. If they are to play again beyond their season finale at San Diego, that would be the postseason. They made the postseason their first year, going back to 2024. Good play from Morgan Hentz. A dig that leads to a point. Maddox couldn't get it down. Boy, that's rare. You never see a dig turn into a point like that.
It's hard. Maddox just timed the ball wrong. She jumped a little early and the ball was higher than expected, so just went over her head. She wasn't able to fully execute on that play.
I mean, we saw her kind of get up slowly after a play in the second set. Any chance she's still working off that injury that she had?
She didn't come back too recently.
Let's see if she can find something here. This time in the net goes Orlando. It's a point for Grand Rapids. Different times, and I think Kathy George has also alluded to just not having all hands on deck. And I don't know if any team ever really does. I think you just hope to get as many of those players as you can, but Orlando's had to deal with that as well. Whether it's Maddox or Abercrombie. There's certainly more where that came from. Georgia Murphy's another most recent example. There's a block. Ramat Al-Hassan and Cam Turner. Now the Rise are starting to settle in here in the third. Briggs Romine, who is also, like her teammate Carly Snyder, taken an MLV Player of the Week award. This time Maddox able to get a little bit more vertical, puts it down, and the Rise lead is 1. We'll see if they'll get Colby Neal back in off the bench for Orlando. Neal's also been pretty busy in the dig department. She's got 5 of those. Pretty impressive for a middle block. Bree Kelly, the other one from the middle. Turner wants Snyder. Good play by Kelly and Abercrombie. Rise will have to try it again. Al-Hassan, too strong. And Turner and Al-Hassan have looked really good with one another over the course of the 5-match win streak. Today they're just working a little bit harder because it's not coming as naturally, at least on some of them. They had some success in that second set, though. Let's see if this one works. Not this time. Briggs Romine and Turner. Little tag team action to get it back over for Grand Rapids. Pukas nearly got it down. Maddox swings and scores. 3 in a row for the Valks. They're back in front. That's another long point that goes to Orlando. They've had them all so far. Bree Kelly nearly had the ace. They want Carly Snyder. Tried to get him out of rhythm. Oof, down hard goes Maddox. Hopefully she's okay. That one looked kind of awkward. Abercrombie from distance lands it. Brittany Abercrombie, 36% tonight. And what a go-to option that is. And there's not many players in the league that you can say that about, where if everybody knows they're about to get the pass and they can still convert, that's one of the ultimate compliments as far as Major League Volleyball is concerned. Bree Kelly, too strong. Rise get a much-needed point. Al-Hassan. She got off to that really good second set. Wasn't able to dig that one from Abercrombie. That brings us to a timeout. So Orlando, as this chess game continues, finds a way to get some extra points, and they've got a 2-point advantage after Grand Rapids started set number 3. Pretty strong. As we look at some of the numbers, though, right now, one of the things that really jumps out is that Cam Turner hitting negative 17% out of the middle. Now, I know it's a setter, so it's a little bit difficult, but again, we're so used to seeing Cam Turner being able to feel out the other side and pick her opportunities, but clearly they found a way to answer that call.
Not very often do we see her miss out of bounds, and that's what we've seen her do tonight. I would like her to still keep being aggressive. She's just missing the court by just a slim.
You've got Ramat Al-Hassan at 29%. She's got 6 blocks in this one. She's probably been their most consistent offensive player, but at that point, you sort of do have to find that complement because you just can't keep feeding the middle. It gets a little too predictable.
And, you know, once they hone in on blocking that, it's such a quick play that you're just up and ready to be there. There needs to be a pin that can start getting going. And right now, Carly Snyder has picked up a couple of kills, so see if they can get her more in system and rolling into this third set.
The fact that both of these teams have taken a set, you look at it from the Grand Rapids side, they've got Snyder and Briggs-Romine both hitting under 10%. So there is still some room for improvement on the Grand Rapids side if they can get things back in system. This time they'll try for Inna. But Orlando's been really strong defensively today. Turner's had a bit of a hard time as this one goes to Grand Rapids. Orlando thought it caught a high hand. Maddox wanted the point but didn't get it. And are we going to get a challenge out of Orlando?
Yep, looks like we're gonna get a challenge. Maddox was pretty confident that she got a piece of a hand.
Orlando is challenging block touch.
Well, it happened pretty quickly, and this one's one of those plays where it's awfully close. Initially called as a Grand Rapids point, so whoever gets this challenge.
Maddox is so talented. When the ball is set perfectly, a little bit off the net, she's so talented at her ability to really aim for those hands, and she hits it so hard with such pace that it does get a lot of hands, and that's how majority of her points are scored.
And you think about the way that Grand Rapids is stylistically, it's that they're so strong defensively, you almost are always going to have to deal with high hands, so it almost kind of plays in Hannah Maddox's favor.
And when you get a high hand touch that is still going down instead of up, the trajectory, it's a lot harder.
It's our first referee, Zach McCright. They continue to look very closely at this last play. Well, remember like earlier when they had that call that was having not gone into the net. It's got to be clear and conclusive. That's the one that got Grand Rapids a little bit upset because they thought it was, but it was considered an unsuccessful Grand Rapids challenge. Now we're getting our first
After review, the challenge is unsuccessful. Point Grand Rapids.
Unsuccessful. There was not a block touch. And this is the second time that we're seeing the other team that lost the challenge go up there and point at the video board, seeing they saw something different. But again, it has to be fully conclusive that there is a touch.
Some games are games of inches. This one feels more like a game of millimeters. Other side, Abercrombie connects.
Everybody clap your hands.
Well, you fight, you challenge, you hope you get your point, you don't get it. Well, now we're just going to go to Abercrombie again. Hannah Maddox's turn. I'd love to get some help from the middle, and they do. Alyssa Jensen. Well, we're really noticing a lot of dedication for Cam Turner to go to the middle, whether it's Al Hassan or Jensen. They've probably been the two most consistent offensive pieces on the firepower side for the Grand Rapids end. Meanwhile, we know what's going on with Orlando as Abercrombie's been tremendous. Snyder can't get that one down. Didn't have a whole lot behind it. Abercrombie denied, but another chance from distance. The changeup somehow sneaks over. Well, talk about perfect timing for the Orlando Valkyries. They're up 2.
Looks like Jensen slipped coming down, and then Inna was there, but just probably got a little confused with Jensen on the ground and not able to play that ball over. That was...
It also just goes to show how important it is to stay in system if you can do it. This time, Hentz unable to do it. And now, speaking of not being in system, Schwann and Kelly bump into one another. A little miscommunication on both sides all of a sudden.
The stakes are pretty high, so you can feel the pressure of both teams really wanting to win this set.
Abercrombie slams one down. It feels like Grand Rapids is going to have to try to get a little bit more bold on the service line. Right now, it seems like it's too easy on Orlando's end just to put it in Abercrombie's arm. Turner, Al Hassan gets the point right back. And I would almost imagine that in that case, that might result in another service error or two, but maybe they have to be willing to make a trade like that. That's a better play for Grand Rapids. Ends up as a block, and it gets down. You could tell Schwann had a little bit of a hard time receiving that serve from Inna, and that leads to a rise point. But their receiving has been really strong. It feels like that's been when Orlando's been at its best. Pukas with distance. Maddox plants it.
Everybody clap your hands.
And Maddox, especially when healthy, Maddox and Abercrombie are really nice to play off one another. It's a good compliment. There's Briggs Romine. They'd love to get her going. Been a quiet day for her so far. Let's see if they look for Snyder. They do. And Abercrombie once more kept alive. Look at Morgan Hentz swooping in. And try a slide play, and that's going to go as an Orlando point. Big point for the Valks. 2-point lead for Orlando.
Looks like we got a sub on the Rise side. Harbin is coming in.
And as for Inna, she's swinging it a little bit better in this one than she was back on Wednesday. She was sitting around the 0 line for a good chunk of that match as Briggs Romine gets it inside the edge, that near side corner. But now they put Harbin in. What are they looking for out of Danielle Harbin here?
Better defensive touches. Right now they're getting beat defensively in right back.
See how close that one was to the stripe. So they'll try the slide play with Kelly, and they get it through. Again, right now, it's actually pretty easy. At least it's looking easy for Orlando coming in off the service line. Grand Rapids might need to challenge them a little bit more. Haven't seen a whole lot of serving subs today. Not a lot of Camila Gomez or Allison Mayfield, who we've seen as a serving sub throughout the course of the year. This one goes down for Ramat Al Hassan. But right now, the Rise just sort of feel like they're playing catch-up, and they're not really able to stack points at the line. And a lot of credit goes to Orlando for that. They've done exactly what they're supposed to do in those situations. Let's see if they have another one coming. They do. Hannah Maddox.
The Rise have got to get the Valkyries out of system. They are too good when they are in system.
Turner tried to dump it down, and she does. Just got it inside the line.
That's a good one for her to get because she has been so close, but just missing.
We've seen her try that a lot over the course of the season. She has that tendency to go into the campfire. We haven't seen her try to get one on the edge as much as Abercrombie lands it. I mean, she is so good at nipping that back corner. And Orlando's going to take a 2-point lead into the timeout. 1-1 tie, 16-14, Orlando by 2 in set 3. It's Rise Radio and a good one on Samsung TV Plus. back and forth battle here in Grand Rapids. It's 16-14. Orlando's got a 2-point lead. We are even at 1 set apiece here from Grand Rapids. Dan Hasty, Katie Olson, and right now it's a fight between these two sides. Orlando's got a lot of pride, and even though these two teams are technically still alive, Grand Rapids, especially being in front of their home crowd, feels like they've got a whole lot on the line tonight.
There's over 100 digs combined for these two teams, and we're not even through set 3.
Snyder, a little tough, gets it back. And it's handled there by Maddox. She's been pretty good since she's come in today. Didn't see her a whole lot in set 1. Snyder scores. Carly Snyder. You could almost see a bit of a sigh of relief that time from Carly Snyder. Hitting under 100. She had some of her absolute best matches of the entire season over the course of this hot streak for Grand Rapids. They'd love to get her at the service line for a while. Trying to get this Orlando team out of system. Ooh, they might have gone after one that was headed out of bounds. And it doesn't matter. Courtney Schwann gets it down in the middle.
We now have Charity Looper in the back row for Hannah Maddox.
Looper, former Louisville Cardinal, native of Dallas, Texas. We also see Natalie Foster come in. No surprise there. This is a high leverage portion of this match tonight. And they'll put the best server in MLV in to try and help them get to the finish line here in the third. Swing too strong from Foster. Oh, that was a dangerous call to let that one go, and it did not miss by much.
Her serves are so challenging because they float and drop off at the end. Natalie Foster, who is standing at 6'3", just is already over the net when she is serving.
It's got such a natural sink to it. It's never quite what you think. Snyder tried to lay out and get that one from Abercrombie, but boy, doesn't it always feel like Brittany Abercrombie is just putting the volleyball in a space where someone isn't?
The Rise have got to find an answer for her. She has 18 kills on the night.
Now she's at the line. Turner had to work hard to get it. Attack from distance, Looper. Now Briggs Romine. What about Schwann? Good move there by Snyder to be in the back and ready for it. How about Harbin? First swing from Danielle Harbin is a successful one.
You see here, she had to turn her feet quickly and put all the power behind that ball going down the line, being able to turn her hips to get that ball there.
It just goes to show how Orlando is moving its defense, maneuvering it, because it looked like Harbin had some room to work with. It's her serve, and Abercrombie forced to attack from distance. Just got them slightly out of system. That could be a key, if not for the block by Bree Kelly.
Bree Kelly adding her 4th block of the night.
As a team, Grand Rapids just at 16%. So is Orlando.
We have Maddox back in the front row for Looper.
Grand Rapids with a gotta have it point at this juncture. Harbin can't land it. That's a big point for Orlando to get. And now we got a timeout from Kathy George. Well, all things considered, you know, we were talking about the difference between winning in 3 sets versus 4 sets and 5 sets. You know, the truth of the matter is that if there is no victory of any kind for Grand Rapids, the conversation becomes a moot point, because right now 1 loss is all Grand Rapids needs to have their postseason hopes dashed.
4, 5, 8.
They are in a must-win match tonight.
If that's your winning ticket, take
so
it
it's a 3-point lead for Orlando. Grand Rapids has a lot to figure out here.
And it really starts with finding an answer for Abercrombie. You know that she's gonna get her kills, but right now having 18, they have got to slow her down. And then Maddox as well. She has 8, and she just started in these last 2 sets.
This is the kind of play from Abercrombie that Orlando had gotten so used to last season. And she has saved her absolute best for the Grand Rapids Rise here in Beer City. Turner wants Harbin. Didn't get a whole lot behind it. What about Maddox? Good play by Snyder. Somehow it comes back. I don't know how that pinballed its way over the net. Nearly it's blocked. But Orlando calling on Abercrombie and a block. Well, you can count on one hand how many times the Rise have gotten in front of an Abercrombie kill. That's a huge point for Grand Rapids. And they desperately need some more. Trying to keep them out of system. There's another one! Turner and Al Hassan. The steel curtain in Grand Rapids. This looks a whole lot more like the Grand Rapids Rise we had seen over the last 2.5 weeks. 2 straight for Grand Rapids. The lead goes down to 1. These have been hard to figure out. There's been too many ebbs and flows to get a real feel like one side has totally outplayed the other. But one thing is clear, it's going to be crunch time. And if you're Grand Rapids, I don't think it's a stretch to think that you've just got to sell out to stop Abercrombie.
The ball is gonna go her way. When they need a point, it's going to Abercrombie or it's going to Maddox. And after both of them just got blocked, now we're gonna see a double sub come in. We're gonna have Shampoo Goodpart come in and then Zoe Weatherington come in. And boy, this double sub has worked really well for them because Weatherington is hitting almost 500 and she has 5 kills. She has very little playing time, but when she's coming in, she is being effective.
Can Grand Rapids find 3 straight points to tie it up? Goodpart back in, looking for help and gets it through. I don't know how they had room to do so. Al Hassan and Snyder on that side. Usually you'd expect them to come up with a block.
Just the vision by Zoe Weatherington, just able to go right off of Snyder's outside hand.
Interesting to see Weatherington in here in these late points in these last couple of sets. Turner, Al Hassan somehow kept alive. Maddox has to attack from distance and can't get it over. And again, to your point, the advantage of getting Orlando out of system is real.
And now we got Allison Mayfield in on the Rise side, back to serve for Al Hassan.
First time we've had a Rise serving sub. It's all the way towards the end of set number 3. Rise were down 3 just moments ago. They'll look for Weatherington. Did she get a high hand? It's said to be a Grand Rapids point, but will Orlando challenge this?
They can't challenge. They already lost their last challenge, and you saw Amy Polly over there put her hands up. I can't do anything.
What are you supposed to do? Even at 21. Good play by Mayfield to keep it going, but now clearly in system, our Orlando Maddox gets it, and it's a point as that one gets down just in front of Harbin. They had Abercrombie and Pukas on the bench momentarily. They'll send those 2 back in. As Morgan Hentz returns for the Rise.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, guys.
Grand Rapids trying to extend a 5-match win streak and keep their postseason chances going. Orlando's on the other side, having lost 4 in a row. Maddox swings. It's not there. Grand Rapids needs a point to tie us up, and it is down from Danielle Harbin. Just barely snuck that one across. The score, 22-22, and to serve for the Rise is number 22. It's Cam Turner's turn. Good receiving that time. Abercrombie, dugout Hentz, what a play. Can they take advantage with Snyder? Didn't get the angle they wanted. Right back to Abercrombie, kept alive, what a play. Paige Briggs-Romine and Harbin. Right back to Abercrombie, it's blocked! The Grand Rapids Rise just denied one of the premier players in MLV. It may have taken the Rise 3 sets to finally solve the Rubik's Cube of Brittany Abercrombie, but all of a sudden the defense is starting to show up against one of the best in the league.
Taking a little more cross, leaving Morgan Hens on her island that she owns, that she deserves, and putting that pressure for Abercrombie to go even harder across. That's what happens.
Now, Abercrombie's got great court vision. She can see where she's going with it. So in some ways, you almost wonder if Grand Rapids' defense is almost inviting her to make a decision and try to entice her into maybe a little bit of a facade, so to speak.
It's a lot of discipline on blocking, really pressing your hands over, not leaving any room, because as soon as you open your hips and leave that room, she's gonna go under. So you gotta really make sure that you're pressing, and that's what Alyssa Jensen did on that last play.
Big point to be had. The Rise at one point, just moments ago, we're down by 3. Can Orlando even us up? Turner keeps it going. Snyder with the tap. And Pukas is there to handle it. Abercrombie again swings and scores. You can only hold down Brittany Abercrombie for so long. She's the story tonight. She has 44 attack chances tonight. It's almost double the next closest player. This one a Harbin swing. That one's down. And the first chance at set point goes to Grand Rapids. Carly Snyder at the service line for GR. Took a little something off that time. Abercrombie swings. It's too strong! The Grand Rapids Rise dig out of the hole, and they're back in front. It's 2-1. That one must have just barely missed. Going to the fourth, 2-1 GR.
Grand Rapids Rise in volleyball.
It's not just a sport, it's a calling. At Spalding, we've spent years crafting high-quality equipment that honors that passion. As the official net system supplier to Major League Volleyball, we're proud to support the game at its highest level, where precision, durability, and performance matter most. Because when you give your all, you deserve equipment that does too. Spalding Volleyball, trusted by generations, built for champions.
Hey Orlando, it's game time. Your women's pro volleyball champions, the Orlando Valkyries, are back and ready to win. Enjoy the night out and feel the excitement of big plays, incredible athletes, and non-stop action. Every rally brings the crowd to its feet. Every point is a moment to cheer together. This is world-class volleyball, live at Addition Financial Arena. Don't just watch the game, be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at orlandovalkyries.com.
That's about as good as it gets here in Major League Volleyball tonight. 2-1 in favor of the Grand Rapids Rise. It's one of those matches where so far no team has played like they should lose this match. Both teams have played pretty well, all things considered, and yet Grand Rapids was able to get the win in a very pivotal set number 3.
It's been one heck of a defensive battle tonight. Offensively, neither team is showing out, but with the defensive play on the other side of both net, it's just fantastic. You're seeing 14 blocks and 62 digs for the Rise right now. And then the Valkyries have 7 blocks and 67 digs. So I guess the blocking is really the only thing that's setting those two teams apart at the moment.
It's Brittany Abercrombie who's got 19 points and 11 digs, now hitting 31%. Meanwhile, on the Grand Rapids side, they've been led by Ramat Al-Hassan, who's got 13 with 6 blocks. Carly Snyder's got 9 with 16 digs. So maybe even if the offense hasn't quite been there for Carly Snyder, she's been getting in after it in other ways. It's got to make Kathy George happy, and now the chance for getting that 3-1 victory is still intact for Grand Rapids. They'd have to win this 4th set to do it. Harbin didn't get it where she wanted. Here's an attack from distance from Hannah Maddox. It's too strong.
Kathy George going with Harbin instead of Elizabeth Ine.
And you know, it's funny, on Wednesday, it sort of felt like it was offensively related. This time it might seem more on the defensive side. Pukas slam from the middle, and this one goes to the Valkyries. Didn't miss by much.
Just a little help of the net and Alyssa Jensen's arms.
Colby Neal. They want to go for Briggs Romine. That's a perfect spot. Great set by Cam Turner to get it going. Maybe they can get Paige Briggs Romine going in the 4th set.
I like the choice by Turner, bringing Briggs Romine into the 3 zone, giving her more angles to work with against Abercrombie on the block.
Makes her a lot more dangerous from that part. It's a Harbin serve out of the middle. Where does Turner go this time? She says, I'll take it myself, but Orlando was there. Maybe back to Briggs Romine. Underneath it. Kind of undercut it that time, and we're even at 2. Is that a combination of, is that a miss hit more, or is that just looking for a high hand?
That was a miss set by Turner. She threw it a little bit high, and Briggs Romine wasn't able to reach it to fully get on top of that ball.
You can almost hear the difference in the sound that came off of her hand. That goes into the net. Grand Rapids gets the point. It's one of the things, you can certainly hear it when it's set correctly, because there's a different sound it makes when the player gets that kind of leverage. Briggs Romine to serve. And the 2 teams trade service errors. This is an interesting situation with these 2 teams. You look at Grand Rapids, as Snyder can't get it down. It's another miss hit for Grand Rapids, but they're having a little trouble here in this 4th set. Just one more match for Grand Rapids. That'll be on the road at San Diego coming up on the 30th. Meanwhile, there's 2 more on the schedule for Orlando. They're home for Atlanta coming up on the 1st of May. And Dallas will be in the Lone Star State coming up on May the 3rd. Maddox. Good play to at least give Paige Briggs Romine a chance, but they have to free ball back. No way. Paige Briggs Romine tried to do it from the sleeping position. 5-3, Orlando's up 2.
I feel like that would have been an ESPN zone play if we would have got that.
They had it to call Sports Center. Well, it has been a defensive flavored matchup tonight. That much is for sure. Let's see if the Rise can get some help from Briggs Romine. Didn't get it, but she was able to keep it going. How about Snyder? This time it's a point for Grand Rapids. Boy, it sort of looked like the Rise were in trouble there, but Paige Briggs Romine's attack, she was able to get it as it was on its way down from being blocked by Orlando. Thought they've done a nice job with their front line tonight. Colby Neal's a big part of that too. This one from the corner, Maddox connects. It sort of feels like, even though Grand Rapids has the 2-1 lead, I'd almost say that Orlando's controlled the tempo a little bit more throughout. It feels like they've had the lead more often. Grand Rapids has sort of been playing catch up. They'll add another one thanks to Bree Kelly.
Everybody clap your hands.
That's the first ace for
Everybody clap your hands.
Orlando since they got one out of Hannah Maddox. It's the second between these two teams tonight. See if they get Harbin a swing and score. That one is in. That was a point that Grand Rapids probably needed. Don't want to get too far behind here in the fourth. They had essentially won sets 2 and 3 the last time. There's Morgan Hentz doing her thing again, but it was the fourth set that saw Atlanta rally back and get a win that in some ways Grand Rapids kind of let get away from them. And then they were able to come back, rally for that 5th set victory and keep their postseason hopes going. Cam Turner serves. Maddox popped a mile high, and look at Harbin getting the block and the kill. The late season signing paying off for Kathy George.
Talk about a fiery player. She comes in off of that play and just screaming at her team.
Trying to add that little energy lift. Maddox got it through the wickets. That was Harbin and Al Hassan. And the Valks will take a 1-point lead into the mini timeout. We will keep it here in the meantime. And as we were talking about, Grand Rapids has one more match against San Diego at San Diego, but there's a decent amount of games and matches throughout the course of the first week of May. So in that way, Grand Rapids is going to be in the clubhouse before a lot of these other teams in the league.
The Mojo have 3 games left. They have to play on the 26th of April, the 30th versus the Rise, and then they play Indy to end their season on May 3rd. But the championship weekend is not until May 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if the Rise do make it, they get to have a nice little break to rest some players, to really plan for who they're going to play, where some of these other teams will still be playing.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up, because I know that in no sport at the end of a season is a team ever healthy, but what kinds of things are these ladies dealing with at this juncture of the season? Perhaps it's been lingering, perhaps things that they've been trying to manage.
I mean, we can talk about Ramat Al-Hassan. She came in so hot at the beginning of the year, spent most of mid-season injured, and you know, talking to Kathy George tonight, wasn't sure if she was going to be able to go a full game or not. She's been dealing with injury since pre-college, I believe, in high school, and just keeps going on. So to get her a break, a good amount of break, that would be fantastic for the Rise squad.
Well, one thing that could be interesting is if Grand Rapids was able to win today, Al Hassan with a little change-up shot evens this up at 8. But let's say Grand Rapids goes to San Diego and wins. Well, they would be in a spot, but then there's also San Diego playing Indy at the very end of the season. So there could still be a whole lot decided. And then at the same time, there's also that outside chance that the Indy Ignite could basically pick which team they play against come the postseason. And based on how things have gone recently with Indy against Grand Rapids, those are 2 of the biggest upsets in all of Major League Volleyball this year that Grand Rapids has done. I'd have to imagine that Indy doesn't want to face Grand Rapids right now. Must be nice to be lucky enough to make that decision. That one goes as a point for Orlando. I think Snyder may have gone after that ball when she shouldn't have. I think Snyder realized that as she looked down where she was, so difficult with the arc on that ball. And that one actually ends up at the legs of Kathy George. Kathy actually told us after the contest the other day that they had one that was headed towards her and started to flare up an injury that she's been nursing throughout the course of the season. I don't think that one had anything flare up. Abercrombie finds the open space and cashes in.
That is such a hard ball to defend from Abercrombie, standing at 6'3", hitting it at the peak height over Ramat Al-Hassan, just out of Carly Snyder's reach.
See a change for Grand Rapids. Alyssa Jensen is out, and Berkeley Oblad is in for the first time today. Paige Briggs-Romine gets it inside the line. Also caught a high hand instead, rather, but it's either way a point for GR. Sort of feels like the Rise have been playing catch-up throughout the course of this match today. And over the last 2 sets, they've gotten the big ones they've needed. Pukas looking for Abercrombie again. Harbin right at the net, kept alive. One of those 50-50 balls. How about Briggs-Romine to swing? Might have been going out of bounds. Schwann. It's been a tough day for Schwann so far. Hasn't really got what she's wanted. This one still alive. What a play. Snyder keeps it going. The Grand Rapids want to look at this again as Briggs-Romine can't get it over, and immediately Kathy George looks to her bench. And I don't think Kathy George is going to get the answer she was hoping for. No, take that back. Let's see what we have here.
Grand Rapids is challenging for an unsuccessful pancake. Floor touch.
You know, for the first couple of years in Major League Volleyball, that was a play that had to be challenged in the moment, during the live point, during live action. But rule change was made during the offseason that now you could wait until that point was settled in order to figure out whether or not you wanted to challenge. Do you like that change?
Pros and cons. I mean, the con is if you challenge that and then you lose or you win the point and then it
After review, the challenge is successful. The ball is down.
Grand Rapids.
Point Grand Rapids.
We are tied at 11. Well, you could almost tell, too, when that one was pancaked, that a lot of the players for Grand Rapids looked at each other. It's amazing in such a fast game that they can see all those moments and those millimeters of difference in real time. Harbin comes right back. I don't know how they didn't get in the net, but either way, that's down. Point Grand Rapids. Rise have one of their rare leads here in set 4. To the middle, too strong. And all of a sudden, the Rise are going on a run. Amy Pauly's going to want to talk about it. And you know, for all the changes that Orlando made in the first couple of sets, kind of feels like they've been rolling with the same group here in set 4.
They really have. Hannah Maddox has done a great job coming off that bench, but the Rise have now slowed her down from that outside pin. So figuring out a way to really get her back in the game and getting a couple more kills will lead them.
So it's a 2-point lead for the Rise. Orlando's had some pretty big leads in almost every set tonight, but Grand Rapids has been able to figure it out, and at least over sets numbers 2 and 3, has found a way to climb in front when it has mattered most. You know, it's so funny, at the beginning of the season, we used to talk about how hard it was for Grand Rapids to get those points when it was high leverage and when it mattered, but they found those points here down the stretch this season. And the question is Orlando able to respond? Right back to Abercrombie. It is kept alive. Oblad tried to dunk it and couldn't do it. Free ball comes back. Another chance for Grand Rapids. To the corner. Cam Turner scores. That's a savvy play by the second-year player from Kansas.
You see that perfect dig by Paige Briggs-Romine, and then Turner just takes her left hand and puts it in that back corner.
They're keeping Harbin on that service line, and a free ball is going to come back. Some momentum at stake for Grand Rapids. Slide play, not there. Abercrombie trying to rescue her troops, and she hits. Boy, Orlando's not even being coy about it right now. Everything's going to Abercrombie.
And here we go. We're going to see a substitution. We're going to get Shampoo Goodpart back in for Abercrombie, so she'll be able to set.
So walk me through that, because Abercrombie is such an offensive threat. It would seem like to a lot of people it'd be surprising that they would ever take her off the floor.
Well, you're looking at Zoe Weatherington, and she is on the court right now, who came in, and she has 6 kills, and she's only been playing a little bit of time, so she's leading their team other than Abercrombie in kills.
Not a whole lot of fall off. A little bit of a disconnect there between Turner and Briggs-Romine. Feels like Turner hasn't had exactly what she's wanted from a setting spot tonight. Good part. Harbin swings. Charity Looper able to keep that one going. How about Schwann? Trying to extend with that front line. Not once, but twice. Does Grand Rapids have a third one in them? How about Snyder from distance? And Grand Rapids will reset. Briggs-Romine scores. Big point for Briggs-Romine and the Rise. And it feels like PBR's had a little bit of a better fourth set here. Numbers might not reflect that, but certainly has looked like she's gotten some swings in some of the bigger moments here in this fourth set. We'll try Swan again. Hentz lays out for it. Boy, they've really contained Schwann nicely. How about that play? That was Pusic. Looper scores. Charity Looper. Boy, it feels like every single set tonight has been a very tight score up until about maybe point number 20. But every single set sort of feels like a heavyweight match where just two boxers kind of feeling each other out. Hence calls that one. Snyder swings. Pusic. That one found her. And they score. Charity Looper ties it at 15. Boy, and all of a sudden, Teodora Pusic. We're talking a lot about the libero on the Orlando side. Turner for Oblad. That's the alley-oop. And the Rise will take the lead into the break. 1 point lead for Grand Rapids. Could we see the Rise get to the finish line in set 4? We'll find out when we return on Rise Radio and Samsung TV Plus. One point lead for the Grand Rapids Rise. Very entertaining matchup tonight here at Van Andel. MLV at its finest. Berkeley Oblad to serve as Looper swings and absolutely detonates. And we're tied at 16. Welcome back, 2-1. Grand Rapids with the lead here in set number 4. Dan Hasty, Katie Olson, as the Rise are trying to keep those postseason hopes going with this remarkable late season run. How about Snyder? Didn't get what they wanted. Looper again. Blocked and kept alive for now. Harbin with Paige Briggs-Romine. All out of system is Grand Rapids. Looper keeps it going. Al Hassan's back in to keep that one afloat. Very defensive-oriented rally here. So many of these long rallies have gone to Orlando. But this time, Grand Rapids has another chance. Al Hassan punches to the middle. Into the campfire, and the Rise are in front.
So smart by Al Hassan to take that set that was a little low and do something smart with it.
Kind of pulled out the shot put move. One-point lead, back and forth we've gone. And Grand Rapids is getting in front of these attack tries, but they have not been able to get them down on the other side. It's been one of the big differences here. Hens able to lay out for that one, but it's too close to the net. Turner didn't have a chance.
Everybody clap your hands.
Abercrombie, Pukas coming back in for Orlando.
Everybody clap your hands.
We are getting close to the juncture of these sets where one team has started to pull away. Not quite there yet, but doesn't get any closer. Tied at 17 here in the fourth. 2-1 Grand Rapids. Pukas' serve. Hence for Snyder, blocked. Abercrombie and Colby Neal.
I'm not sure you could get a more solid block.
And that's what we're talking about, getting on top of it, getting it down quickly rather than just sending it straight back. It's almost like a goalie in hockey giving up a big rebound. Want to try to smother that. This time, Harbin's able to do just that. What in the world? Looper just tried to kick at that ball. Watch out for the flying feet.
It sounds cliche, but
Well, sometimes it ends up hitting you in the foot on accident. Sometimes, oh, you try to go full Jackie Chan. How'd you like to have that flying into your first row?
No, thank you.
Snyder serves. To the middle, Neal able to blast it through that Grand Rapids defense. That one also caught a hand.
Looks like we got Alexis Shelton in for the Rise for PBR.
And Briggs Romine, been a quiet day for her offensively. Been trying to get her going. So some very different looks here on the Grand Rapids side. And a couple of free balls come back, and Orlando's not going to miss that chance.
everybody clap your hands.
They've not seen a whole lot of Alexis Shelton
Everybody clap
over the
your
last couple of weeks, but Alexis Shelton, the first-round pick of the Grand Rapids Rise in this year's draft. Snyder had to get low for that. Harbin swings. Fight at the net. Al Hassan cleans it up. Kathy George is really doing that thing that we saw Orlando do in the first couple of sets. Just continue to rotate and see if she can find a matchup she can take advantage of. But I didn't think we'd be at a place where we'd look at the sideline and see Briggs Romine, Al Hassan, Hens, and Inna all on the sideline at one time. This one ends up going for an Orlando point. 21-19 Valkyries. Some big points at stake here for Grand Rapids. Can't afford to go down by 3 this late into the set. Was in set 3 where Grand Rapids was able to erase a 3-point deficit at 20-17. But they are getting into that part of this match where that margin for error is so slim. But to Grand Rapids' credit, they've played their best this season with that sub-zero margin for mistakes. Harbin swings, comes right on back, kept alive. Harbin and Oblad forced to free ball it. Other side, Abercrombie, it's answered. Can Grand Rapids get a big point? Yes, they can. Berkeley Oblad scores. I gotta have it point for Grand Rapids. They're down 1. Harbin had a nice long stint at the service line earlier here in this 4th set. We'd love to keep her on there a little bit more. How about Turner? Pops it up to keep the point alive. Not settled yet. Abercrombie swings. Handled. Can Grand Rapids tie it up? Oblad. A little bit of confusion and a traffic jam. Hence trying to tee it up for Shelton. It's a point for Grand Rapids. Alexis Shelton. The first round pick paying off here in the 4th. Very different cast of characters out there for Grand Rapids, trying to get them to the finish line. It's at the net. Oblad towards the corner. How about that diving play off Looper? Schwann swings. Turner able to get in system. Shelton. And Looper's there as the last line of defense. Abercrombie. Denied, but another chance. They'll tackle with Schwann and finds its way down. It's been a tough day for Courtney Schwann. She's hit under 0. She's at -11, but that one might be her biggest one of the day.
It's only her 2nd kill of the night.
Grand Rapids needs a point to get it tied up. Turner, set her down, even at 22. Shelton's coming out, Briggs-Romine's coming back. So they'll get Paige Briggs-Romine back to the service line. First to 3, gotta win by 2 here in the 4th. Slide play, blocked for now. Oblad, Turner, for Snyder, scores! Carly Snyder and the Rise are inching towards the finish line in their home finale. Timeout, Orlando's gonna talk about it. Well, the Rise have made a living out of crawling out of deficits, not just this season and not just this set, but this entire night and maybe for the past month.
Defense, 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 just not giving up and frustrating the other team. The more digs that you get, the more frustrated the other team is offensively, and then getting points in the right situations. Cam Turner was unsuccessful very early in this match tonight, and then right there, got a kill when it mattered.
One of the things I've also noticed, we talked about Brittany Abercrombie coming out here in the last couple of sets. Now, granted, it's been brief, but going up against Grand Rapids in that very difficult front line of defense, you'd almost wonder if that's taxing so physically that they've had to find a way to get her some chances to maybe catch her breath, maybe to get a very important rest or two. Orlando looking for a point to keep it going. Snyder didn't have an angle. Abercrombie. Grand Rapids with a golden opportunity with Snyder. Good job by that front line. And Hentz keeps it going. Oh my goodness, Morgan Hentz lays out. Another chance. Whistle. Grand Rapids was in the net. But who was it? Was it Berkeley Oblad? And Kathy George is immediately asking who.
So we're looking at that replay of Morgan Hentz diving.
Grand Rapids is challenging net touch.
And now it looks like the Rise are going to challenge that there was not a net touch on that play.
Kathy George immediately, you could read her lips all the way from here saying who was in the net. There really wasn't a lot of bodies in those Rise uniforms right up against it. So there's only too many players. It can only be, I guess, perhaps Hentz, maybe Berkeley Oblad or Cam Turner.
After review, the challenge is unsuccessful. Point Orlando.
To see that net, and it does look like Oblad did get her hip in that net, so it was unsuccessful. Point Valkyries.
That's probably why she didn't feel it, because it didn't hit her in the hands. It got her in kind of the torso area. Whoever gets a 2-point lead next wins the set. Turner wants Oblad, kept alive. Oblad did not get on top of that one. Can Snyder do it? Not yet. Turner wants Carly again. It's blocked. Bree Kelly and Hannah Pukas. Set point for the Valkyries here in the fourth. And a point that could have postseason implications on the table for the Grand Rapids Rise. Schwann to serve. Hence towards the net. It's fought for and handled by Orlando. They've got a chance to win it. Hence gets low, kept alive. Paige Briggs-Romine too strong. And the Orlando Valkyries have evened us up at 2 sets apiece. We will play a 5th and deciding set. The Rise need to get to 15. The Valkyries need to get to 15 to keep their postseason chances on the table on Rise Radio and Samsung TV.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Hey Orlando, it's game time. Your women's pro volleyball champions, the Orlando Valkyries, are back and ready to win. Enjoy the night out and feel the excitement of big plays, incredible athletes, and non-stop action. Every rally brings the crowd to its feet. Every point is a moment to cheer together. This is world-class volleyball, live at Edition Financial Arena. Don't just watch the game, be part of the celebration. Get your tickets now at orlandovalkyries.com.
An entire season, all building to this.
Point, championship point.
All or nothing stakes on the biggest stage, and there can only be one champion.
For it all. Orlando wins the championship. The $1 million match.
It's the biggest moment in Major League Volleyball, and there's only one chance to witness it live. The Major League Volleyball semifinals and championship at Comerica Center, May 7th and 9th. Tickets available now.
How did we know we were going to be right back here? 5-set match, Grand Rapids and Orlando. And alongside Katie Olson, I'm Dan Hasty. You know, considering everything that has been the last couple of weeks, Grand Rapids has had to fight for everything they've gotten. And of course, this match would go to a 5th set.
Why would it be easy? Why would it be easy at the end of the year? The Valkyries are fighting and clawing their way into this game, and the Rise are doing the same. You're seeing lots of changes on both sides. Amy Pauley is looking for an answer on that second outside position. We're now seeing Charity Loopers get the start there, as Kathy George on the other side is looking for an answer in that opposite position. So you're seeing Harbin get the start on that side.
Meanwhile, you know, you're talking about why would it be easy? Grand Rapids all season long only has one victory via the sweep. That came against Atlanta back on Valentine's Day. Other than that, they've had to really work hard, and they've had to face a lot of adversity. 1st to 15 here in the 5th. Ramad Al-Hassan couldn't get what they wanted. Abercrombie comes right back. It's a fight at the tape. And Turner able to lay out for it. Al-Hassan, right now Orlando looking to try and score first, and they do. Who else? Brittany Abercrombie. It's 1-0 Valkyries. Well, simply put, if the Grand Rapids Rise lose tonight, they are eliminated from postseason contention. Correct, Katie?
believe so. It would take a lot for the.
There's a few more tiebreakers at stake, but considerably longer odds, all things considered. That one goes as another Orlando point.
We also see Shelton starting instead of Paige Briggs-Romine in that outside position for the Rise.
See Amy Pauley there. She's done a nice coaching job tonight. This has been a Orlando team that's had all kinds of trouble the last couple of weeks. Can Harbin get it going? Not yet. Go dial that number again. Abercrombie. Good little play from Harbin, and hence it's a different look for this Grand Rapids team. And Al Hassan's in the net. 3 straight points for Orlando, and that's big trouble for Grand Rapids. How about Carly Snyder? They have not been able to get a whole lot down. Meanwhile, Bree Kelly cleans that one up, and all of a sudden Orlando is on a roll.
Boy, is she having herself a night. That's her 7th kill and 4th block.
Grand Rapids is trying to get on the scoreboard here, and they do with Danielle Harbin. Berkeley Oblad is back in for Grand Rapids. And that's one of the things about this win streak for the Rise, is that they've had to do it in so many different ways. And I think that's what makes them a dangerous team, if somehow, some way they are able to get into the postseason. But Brittany Abercrombie's got other ideas. 5-1 Orlando. We finally get a timeout. See if that's a Grand Rapids timeout, and it is. So if you're Kathy George right now, it's clearly not the start you wanted here in the 5th set. Any changes you might consider before coming out of the timeout?
I like the switch for Paige Briggs-Romine to come back in, just because she is such a strong defensive and serve-receive presence. But right now, slowing down Brittany Abercrombie. They know it's going to go to her. So finding a way to really get a double block in hands on her ball. And then, after they get this side out, they need to serve tougher. Get them out of system, because right now the Valkyries are in system, and Hukas is doing a great job running her offense.
Grand Rapids hopes hanging by a thread here in the 5th set. Down 5-1. Meanwhile, Snyder has to attack. It was in the net, and then Snyder put it down. Unbelievable. That went from oh no to oh yeah on a no-time flat. Harbin's going to serve for Grand Rapids. A Rise team that desperately needs to stack a couple of points. Tough play. Abercrombie from distance, too strong. And there, right there, is the importance of getting Orlando out of system.
Harbin did her job. She got them out of system, putting Abercrombie in a tough spot to get that back row attack.
Harbin's had a couple of nice runs at the service line. One more could get them right back into this match. Schwann swings, it's blocked. Turner and Oblad, that's 3 in a row for Grand Rapids. Here come the Rise. When Harbin, who came in that 5th set against Atlanta on Wednesday, nearly aced that time. Abercrombie from distance, Hens lays out. Turner wants Harbin, it's blocked. Bree Kelly. Big point for the Valkyries, that stops the run.
Kelly is just a blocking machine out there. She is really getting her work in tonight, adding her 6th block.
That's 10 as a team for Orlando. Grand Rapids has 15 of them, led by Al Hassan, 6. Turner, slide play, slam dunk, Berkeley Oblad. And if the Rise can get a few more sets like that out of Cam Turner, Grand Rapids is going to have a real shot here in the 5th set. Paige Briggs-Romine is in. Abercrombie attacks from distance. They've done a nice job keeping her a little bit farther back than the net. Pukas to Looper, found the seam. Well, much like the other 4 sets, it feels as if Orlando has sort of had that slim lead throughout the course of this match tonight. And it's really come down to the last couple of plays. Could we be in store for that here tonight? Turner wants Snyder, swing and score. And even on a night where it has been less efficient than we're used to seeing for Carly Snyder, no reason they're not going to go to her in crunch time.
She's a gamer. She's ready for that ball. And being an outside pin, crunch time, this is Carly Snyder's game.
Camila Gomez comes in. She was the spark that helped the Rise to the postseason 2 years ago. At the net, it's a miss hit, and somehow it comes back to the Rise. Al Hassan takes advantage. Orlando is all kinds of discombobulated, and the Rise even it up at 7.
Just a little bit of a misstep by Pukas, and then Looper was able to get that over.
Rise have scored 6 of the last 8 points. Pukas for Looper. It's down. Got it over the leaping hands of Al Hassan and Turner. And the Valkyries have the lead as we switch sides.
Looper has really made an
Two-two tie, 8-7. Orlando with the 1-point lead here at Van Andel. Fun matchup here in MLV tonight. Grand Rapids is trying to continue its postseason pursuit. They've won 5 in a row, while Orlando, the defending champions, need a win to keep their chances afloat. They're trying to play spoiler here tonight. Turner gives it to Al Hassan. Absolute missile from Rahman. Both of these teams can keep their chances with a win here today. Tied at 8. Looper got it taken by Turner. Collision. Harbin and Hentz, and it falls in. That just might be a product of not a lot of familiarity between Harbin and Hentz.
It's hard because you have Hentz running over to hit the out-of-system ball, or set the out-of-system ball, and Harbin is going to attack it. So sometimes, you know, if you're looking all the way up, you're not able to see each other.
Looper. Turner for Al Hassan. They've gotten her often here in this 5th set. Would they tie it up with her? Instead, Harbin has it dug out. Abercrombie swings. Still tied up. Al Hassan punches it across. We'll try Brittany Abercrombie again, who swings and scores. Big point for the Valkyries.
That was her 24th kill.
Very much like the numbers she posted the last time she was here in Grand Rapids. Looper. Turner, Al Hassan. Not there. They'll try and dial up Carly Snyder. Misfire. 2 monster points for the Orlando Valkyries. And with their season on the brink, Kathy George calls a timeout. So here's the million-dollar question for Grand Rapids. If they lose, are they eliminated? No. But they would need to win at San Diego. They would also need to lose, San Diego being, to Columbus and Indy. And then they would need tiebreaker help. So is their season over after tonight? Not necessarily, but a slim chance. Goes down to about an indescribable and almost a speck of itself in pertaining to what the Rise are able to do. Let's just put it this way. Their path can get a whole lot clearer with a win tonight. The Rise are desperate for this point. Turner for Carly. Chance right at the net. Harbin can't get it down. Kathy George thinks that that may have caught a hand. Will she challenge it?
Harbin was definitely going for a hand on that play as she didn't have anywhere else to go.
That is a tough scene for Grand Rapids. Now down by 4 like they were earlier in this set. But now at the end of the set, a block. Abercrombie. How about the Orlando Valkyries having lost each of their last 3 matches, 3 sets to 0. And now they are on the brink of an upset win over a desperate Grand Rapids Rise team. Al Hassan, how did that stay up? Turner again, Al Hassan cleans it up finally, and the point for the Rise. While Grand Rapids has had to essentially be perfect for the past month, they've gotten every box checked. And now there's one very big one here in the 5th set. They've got their best server on the service line in Carly Snyder. Pukas for Abercrombie. Hence, underneath it, Snyder slings and scores. Orlando was up by 5, and now Amy Pauley wants to stop the run. She thinks Grand Rapids might be starting to build. So it's a 3-point lead for Orlando. So what does it look like from here if you're Grand Rapids? I mean, we know Orlando wants to go to Brittany Abercrombie. That's pretty obvious, but in this defensive-minded battle, there hasn't really been that go-to player on the Grand Rapids side.
You have Carly Snyder in the back row, which tonight, the back row is where she has found most of her success. You still have Al Hassan in the front row, and she's the one that's getting points for the Rise. If you're in system, I don't see why not you wouldn't want to go towards her. You also have Harbin on the opposite side, so there are a couple options there.
And to your point about Harbin, she's hit 26%. That's really good in a matchup that is this defensively oriented. This one's coming back. Al Hassan unable to get it down. That was a big chance for Grand Rapids. They might have one more crack at it. Paige Briggs-Romine. That's a point for the Rise.
Looks like Neal was in the net in the middle for the Valkyries.
Grand Rapids down by 5. have been trying to prevent match point. They have scored 3 straight with Carly Snyder on the line. And in a season where they have not been able to keep their best server on the service line nearly as long as they'd like, they are desperately needing it now. Abercrombie swings. Hentz gets down low for it. Snyder attacks. It's blocked. Schwann, match point, Orlando Valkyries. Well, the Rise needed to get out of a hole. They scored 3 in a row to tighten it up. Now they need 3 more to keep it going. Colby Neal, Orlando trying to seal it up, and they do! Bree Kelly, an unstoppable force in the middle, forces Orlando to a 5-set win. What a coaching job by Amy Pauley. What a job by the Orlando Valkyries tonight. Outstanding, well-played match on both sides, and Orlando proudly displaying that championship pedigree here in Beer City.
And thank you again for coming out to tonight's match.
3-2, Orlando a win tonight. We'll give you some quick numbers, then we'll take a timeout. But for those of you watching along on the TV side, Katie Olson, what numbers are you looking at that stand out most?
The biggest number tonight was Brittany Abercrombie with 24 kills and 16 digs. There just wasn't an answer on the Rise side for that. And then defensively, both sides, Grand Rapids Rise had 98 digs and the Valkyries had 101. So you could just, it was such a scrappy game. You can really tell by that stat right there. And Abercrombie, she just went off.
Well, it sort of kind of feels like Grand Rapids just couldn't get what they wanted to offensively and just really didn't have somebody that they could rely on here tonight. You mentioned the 24 points from Abercrombie. Al Hassan had 19 as well here in the...
Club.